Blessed Yule, everybody.
Merry Yule.
Welcome to TFT, Tarot for Today, Divine Dabblings with
Oberon.
and me, Banshee. Welcome to our Yule ritual Journey of the Fool. I've been waiting a long time to do this Journey of the Fool ritual again. I have.
We hope you enjoy it. It came from our heart. We're inspired, of course, by the tarot, as always.
And I added a lot to this ritual. So for the virtual environment, we hope you can interact as much as you can. We've put enough helper material up on the screens so that you can participate. And if you brought your tarot cards or have some nearby, get them. And you can do a reading for yourself at the end of the journey when we do that.
All right.
All right.
Let's relax for a moment and pause as we begin.
All right. Light the way now so all may see deep into tarot's mystery. Water and salt protect our space.
Fire and air cleanse our virtual space.
With grateful hearts we give thanks to thee, and now by our word, so mote it be.
Go ahead.
I gotcha.
You want to splash me?
All right, well, go ahead. I know you want to smudge me. Don't burn my hat. We're now going to cast our circle. We ask you to, when we do this, you see us grab hands, reach your arm out as if you're grasping the hand, someone's hand, and recite the following line. From hand to hand, the circle is cast. From hand to hand, the circle is cast.
From hand to hand,
the circle is cast. From hand to hand, the circle is cast. From hand to hand, the circle is cast. Imagine you're reaching out.
The circle is cast.
The circle, from hand to hand, the circle is cast. From hand to hand, the circle is cast, as has been done in days past. We call upon the powers vast. Together in circle, we hold the key to unlocking the mystery. So mote it be.
So mote it be.
The circle is now cast.
Blessed be.
Blessed be. All hail watchtowers of the east, south, west, and north.
We
respectfully ask you to bring your powers forth. Please join us in this circle and on this journey. Our gratitude to you all. May all blessed be. We now call on the divine source or the gods, goddesses we choose. Please join us now in our circle. On this journey, please be our muse. Guide and protect, we ask of thee. We bid you welcome. Blessed be. We pause now for a brief light to get you into a light meditative state.
What we'd like you to do here now is to try and relax to get into the mood for the meditation for the journey. So I'm going to use our singing bowl, our crystal singing bowl here, to just kind of give us a tone. I want everybody just to breathe deeply and try to relax. And even if you're not exactly feeling that, just go along with it. You'll get some effect no matter what. Just relax and enjoy. And I shall begin. Take deep breaths in and out, slowly. Close your eyes. Open your mind. Breathe deep. Relax. Visualize yourself relaxing and walking down the great staircase, a tunnel, cavern, a tower, whatever it is that takes you into your relaxed subconscious state.
It was a feisty candle. On winter solstice night, the barren earth is still. The hard ground under our feet has a frosty chill. Gathering in the darkness of the longest night, we come together to perform a sacred rite. As a bonfire ignites, some light and warmth returns. We sing, dance, and chant while the Yule fire burns. Then it's time to embark on a magical quest. There's no time to delay. There's no time to rest. Let the light of the North Star guide you on your way. Adventure awaits, so depart without delay. Everyone should imagine now that they are the Fool, visiting each of the major arcana archetypes, and say the lines along with Mr. Owen the Ritual. You should see copies of them listed on our page. The second verse will be repeated in between each archetype, substituting the archetype name. For example, you will and also Mr. O will be given a token by the archetypes. When he receives that token from me, he will draw it into his heart chakra and put it in his knapsack. And you yourself can visualize your heart chakra as your knapsack and receive the items.
You can also use the tarot images to visualize with too.
Yes. All right.
All right.
Shall we begin?
Mm-hmm. I am the fool. I have my knapsack in hand. I set out for adventure across this vast land. I have no time to tarry, no time for sleep. Bounding ahead, I should look before I leap. Before I go, in my knapsack, I'll tuck this acorn inside, so I'll have good luck. Follow along. I'm sailing across vast endless seas, walking through dense dark forests filled with trees, hiking through hills, mountains, fields of grass, to obtain wisdom I wish to amass. What or who is it now that I see? The magician now stands before me.
I am the magician. If it's mastery you seek, you must practice and study. Your skills you must tweak. Take the symbol. Its magic is sure if you focus willpower with intent that is pure.
I'm sailing across vast endless seas, walking through dense dark forests filled with trees, hiking through hills, mountains, fields of grass, to obtain wisdom I wish to amass. What or who is it now I see? The high priestess now stands before me.
The wisdom you seek is hidden behind the veil. The high priestess is the keeper of the Holy Grail. If you cannot find it within, you won't find it without. Gaze into this crystal ball if you are plagued with doubt.
I'm sailing across vast endless seas, walking through dense dark forests filled with trees, hiking through hills, mountains, fields of grass, to obtain wisdom I wish to amass. What or who is it now I see? The Empress now stands before me.
As Empress, I bring to fruition. That is my purpose. That is my soul's mission. This apple symbolizes the things you are growing. Success will sprout from the seeds you are sowing.
I'm sailing across vast endless seas, walking through dense dark forests filled with trees, hiking through hills, mountains, fields of grass, to obtain wisdom I wish to amass. What or who is it now I see? The Emperor now stands before me.
I am the Emperor. I am in command. I rule over all with an even hand. Take this gold, symbol of my power. When facing a challenge, may it empower.
I'm sailing across vast endless seas, walking through dense dark forests filled with trees, hiking through hills, mountains, fields of grass, to obtain wisdom I wish to amass. What or who is it now I see? The Hierophant now stands before me.
I am the high priest, keeper of truths and rules. Those who don't follow them truly are fools. Perhaps you are not a fool at all. Learn from this book so you can stand tall.
I'm sailing across vast, endless seas, walking through dense, dark forests filled with trees, hiking through hills, mountains, fields of grass, to obtain wisdom I wish to amass. What or who is it now I see? Two lovers now stand before me.
The lovers are two, but together become one, though we are as different as the moon and sun. This heart will help you make the right decision and provide you with a clearer vision.
I'm sailing across vast, endless seas, walking through dense, dark forests filled with trees, hiking through hills, mountains, fields of grass, to obtain wisdom I wish to amass. What or who is it now that I see? The chariot now stands before me.
Vroom, vroom. Ride the chariot towards your goal. The secret to winning is maintaining control. If you wish to remain in the lead, don't give up. Don't ever concede.
I'm sailing across vast, endless seas, walking through dense, dark forests filled with trees, hiking through hills, mountains, fields of grass, to obtain wisdom I wish to amass. What or who is it now that I see? Strength now stands before me.
The strong should not oppress the weak, unless bad karma is what you seek. The lion reflects your strength inside and reminds you to not display foolish pride.
I'm sailing across vast, endless seas, walking through dense, dark forests filled with trees, hiking through hills, mountains, fields of grass, to obtain wisdom I wish to amass. What or who is it now that I see? The hermit now stands before me.
The hermit's light can reveal to you a higher spiritual point of view. Seek a mentor, seek out a teacher, not a demagogue or a preacher.
I saw the light.
You may shut that off. My battery.
I'm sailing across vast, endless seas, walking through dense, dark forests filled with trees, hiking through hills, mountains, fields of grass, to obtain wisdom I wish to amass. What or who is it now that I see? The wheel of fortune stands before me.
The wheel of fortune invites you to spin. Will you be a loser or will you win? The wheel continues to turn round and round. Remember, what goes up will come back down.
Spinner. It's getting a little crowded in here.
Uh-oh.
I'm sailing across vast, endless seas, walking through dense, dark forests filled with trees, hiking through hills, mountains, fields of grass, to obtain wisdom I wish to amass. What or who is it now that I see? Justice now stands before me.
If it's justice you seek, then find it here. Embrace truth with courage, never with fear. Listen to wisdom, in all sides be fair. Handle important decisions with utmost care.
I'm glad you were doing that.
I was afraid I was going to drop it.
I'm sailing across vast, endless seas, walking through dense, dark forests filled with trees, hiking through hills, mountains, fields of grass, to obtain wisdom I wish to amass. Now what or who is it now that I see? The hangman is now hanging before me.
The hanged man performs selfless deed to provide others with the perspective they need. This symbol shall be a reminder to you. Be compassionate to others in all that you do.
I'm sailing across vast, endless seas, walking through dense, dark forests filled with trees, hiking through hills, mountains, fields of grass, to obtain wisdom I wish to amass. What or who is it now that I see? Death now stands before me.
We all have to face death someday. We cannot avoid it, though we may keep it at bay. Something must die in order to be reborn. Let the symbol remind you there's no need to mourn.
I'm sailing across vast, endless seas, walking through dense, dark forests filled with trees, hiking through hills, mountains, fields of grass, to obtain wisdom I wish to amass. What or who is it now that I see? Temperance now stands before me.
Seek balance in all that you do, in order for success to come to you. To manage daily stress, noise, and commotion, seek harmony, relax, and control all emotion.
Sailing across vast, endless seas, walking through dense, dark forests filled with trees, hiking through hills, mountains, fields of grass, to obtain wisdom I wish to amass. What or who is it now that I see? The devil now stands before me.
You must come to terms with your shadow side. There's really no place to run and hide. If you find yourself under the devil's control, you need to set yourself free, both body and soul.
Sailing across vast, endless seas, walking through dense, dark forest filled with trees, hiking through hills, mountains, fields of grass, to obtain wisdom I wish to amass. What or who is it now that I see? The tower now stands before me.
You won't know the time, you won't know the hour, when you'll get struck down by the falling tower. Accept these harsh lessons to avoid more crashes, or your dreams will end up turning to ashes.
I know just where to put that.
Okay.
Sailing across vast, endless seas, walking through dense, dark forests filled with trees, hiking through hills, mountains, fields of grass, to obtain wisdom I wish to amass. What or who is it now I see? The star now stands before me.
Take this token, the star, symbol of hope. Through difficult times, it will help you cope. In the darkness of space, there is always a light. You have the ability now to make things right.
Sailing across vast endless seas, walking through dense, dark forests filled with trees, hiking through hills, mountains, fields of grass, to obtain wisdom I wish to amass. Now what or who is it that I see? The moon now stands before me.
If information you need is hidden from view, very soon the moon will reveal it all to you. This token reminds you to use intuition in order to...
Slippery when wet.
The moon fell from the sky. This token reminds you to use intuition in order to further your greatest ambition.
Sailing across vast endless seas and walking through dense dark forests filled with trees, hiking through hills, mountains, fields of grass, to obtain wisdom I wish to amass. What or who is it now that I see? The sun now stands before me.
The sun, shining bright, ensures success for you with penetrating rays that refresh and renew. Now you can shine your light down for all to see that you're in control of your destiny.
Sailing across vast endless seas, walking through dense dark forests filled with trees, hiking through hills, mountains, and fields of grass, to obtain wisdom I wish to amass. What or who is it now that I see? Judgment now stands before me.
Awaken renewed, your time is at hand. Judgment Day is heralded throughout the land. Step forward now, there's no time to weep. For what you've sowed, you now shall reap. White Rose.
Sailing across vast endless seas, walking through dense dark forests filled with trees, hiking through hills, mountains, fields of grass, to obtain wisdom I wish to amass. What or who is it now that I see? The world now stands before me.
You have it all now. The world is in your hand. But life will get boring if you refuse to expand. Your journey may now have come to an end, but it's time again to explore and transcend. Take the earth element.
And the earth element is here to symbolize
the world. You may finish with your lines, and we will all say the last.
All right. No longer the fool, my journey's complete. I kept moving forward, never in retreat. I learned well the lessons that I've been shown. I've struggled and won. In the end, I have grown. But tomorrow comes dawning a bright new day. New adventures await. You can't keep me away. Sailing
across vast endless seas, walking through dense dark forests filled with trees, hiking through hills, mountains, fields of grass, to obtain wisdom I wish to amass. What or who is it now that I see? Our future's an open book of discovery. May your next fool's journey be enlightening.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everybody. That concludes the journey of the Fool, and we will do our reading now and then dismiss the circle after.
So,
in this portion of the ritual, we do a collective reading. As we're doing this reading, you yourself can do your own reading, and that reading will be for you for 2023. This is a collective reading for some of the main themes that we'll be experiencing in 2023 as we take our Fool's journey through 2023. Are we ready? We didn't shuffle yet, Mr. O, of course, so we must shuffle. And they're very tiny cards, so I sense a problem here. All right. I'm going to try my best to shuffle this way. It's not my most special way of shuffling. Give me a few minutes. So, whether you have laid out the cards, as I had mentioned in advance on the blog and in the description or community page on YouTube, you can lay out, if you have 2 decks, lay out your major arcana, starting with the Fool forward, and we're going to travel the Fool's journey through the year. Actually, you will be that Fool, and we'll start with the Magician, visiting the Magician. Shuffle. Shuffle them good, because I think you can shuffle better than me that deck.
So we're using the Rider-Waite Tarot, which is, of course, the one many people use, but you can, of course, use any tarot you wish.
That is correct. All right, everybody, let's go. The Fool begins the journey at the Magician. We'll put it right there. And the card drawn is the 3 of Pentacles reversed. I'll put it on the Magician there. So the Magician is about manifestation, willpower, directing energy. I think a little bit of your energy needs to be directed at how you work with others in the year ahead.
Right, this could very well be the idea that for better manifestation, you need to collaborate.
Can we all, and as a society, can we all get along and work together to create a better world?
A good point.
All right. So the Fool moves down to the High Priestess. We have the 8 of Swords reversed. I like it, or I like it a lot.
Boy, it sounds momentous, as if, maybe, all the gears are moving into place and things are being released, or maybe you realize to some degree you were holding yourself back from understanding what your higher wisdom has been trying to tell you.
Intuition, subconscious, higher wisdom. This is saying now you feel uninhibited from, you're more confident about connecting with your higher wisdom in 2023.
You feel there are no more obstacles.
And maybe as a society, that too, that we tap into a higher wisdom. The Empress, which is all about nature, nurturing, abundance, productivity, and creativity. What a perfect card. We have the hair. Should I be holding them up to the camera?
Maybe, or this one.
Yeah, why don't you do it?
Okay, and the full
Sorry
journey.
about that, guys.
The full journey too, right?
Well, no, that's okay.
They didn't get down to the...
Oops, did I not move? Whoop, come on, Fool. Okay.
Okay, that's what I meant, sorry. So that was the Hierophant in position 3, the Empress.
Which basically means, again, you're exploring alternative sources of creativity, maybe alternative ways of nurturing yourself and pampering yourself.
The world itself is moving into what seems to be maybe unconventional, but maybe it's like crazy wisdom.
Ooh. And now we have, moving down to the Emperor, we have authority, structure, of course, the father figure, and leadership.
So what falls there?
Hey, I think this is very interesting.
The reversed Two of Swords.
I think what this basically means is maybe leaders get a move. Well, does this mean some leaders will be removed? Could this mean that some leaders will make some moves, hopefully for the betterment of society?
Well, sometimes that Two of Swords sounds like a big stalling factor, you know, and like, oh, I can't make this judgment because I can't see these things. Maybe we will find our leaders having to accept what they're seeing here and really moving forward because they now can't say they didn't know that.
Ah, I like it, Mr. O. The
Well, it's a
Fool
different way of
is
looking at it.
moving down to the Hierophant now, which, as we know, is about spiritual wisdom, religious beliefs, conformity, tradition, and our institutions. Oh, it's
the
tower
Tower.
time.
It's Tower time. The Tower is upright.
It sounds like there could be some institutions crumbling. It sounds to me, too,
Wow.
that possibly, you in your own life might be making decisions based on, some disappointments in your spiritual traditions or paths. You might be moving to something that, is more firm and solid for you in your life.
People maybe that had faith in things may find that faith has been crumpled now for various reasons, and they will be able to pick up the pieces and say they learned a lesson, that maybe this was about the conventionality that society may have demanded, and maybe they realize that was a false dichotomy. Just an idea.
Right, and I do think this could also be leaders in political power as well. This could relate to love, harmony, relationships, values, alignment, and the choices we make. The Lover's card, the Fool is visiting now, and we have hey, the burden of having to make choices, the right choice. It's
the Ten
hard.
of Wands.
It's hard to do. We may find it hard to make those right choices for ourselves in the year ahead, whether it is in relationships that we're exploring, whatever the case may be.
There's an old song, Love Stinks, but maybe love stinks because love sweats when it's doing all that work.
The Chariot, about control, willpower, success, action, determination, and movement. Let's move the Fool there, and we have, wow.
Big change, death.
This just seems like a very interesting year, 2023,
The
even
reading
on a
is pretty interesting.
societal level. When we see the movement here with the Emperor, when we see the Tower with the Hierophant, and the Chariot, there is a drive and a move for major changes and transformation to take place, whether it's on your personal level or whether it's on societal level.
An interesting point too is that sometimes the Chariot can kind of represent societal infrastructures, and so this could be saying really we may be addressing infrastructures that need critical repair or look at.
And you know what? These changes need to happen. I think that's the gist of it too. Death is there saying, we got to do it.
So the Fool has moved to Strength.
Strength.
And we find the Emperor reversed.
And of course, strength is about strength, courage, persuasion, influence, and compassion. And so we have the Emperor reversed here. I think it's going to be hard for us to not try to push our own agendas this year. And it, again, to me, also shows the societal divide might be playing a role in some of the disruptions we're seeing here.
The societal divide may fracture around the point of people feeling like they need to show that compassionate strength, but yet society is saying, I don't want to lose control of these things.
Right. People want their own way. All right. We're moving on to the Hermit. What do we got for the Hermit? The Hermit is
soul searching, introspection, the idea about being alone or looking for your inner guidance.
Well, it's the Knight of Cups reversed. I feel that in order to heal emotional wounds and maybe some of the depressions we may be feeling if things aren't going well for us society wise, is that we need to go within. We need that hermit's, we need to seek inner wisdom. We need to operate from a higher perspective, a higher place.
People may feel that emotionally they're really feeling cut off, or they're not feeling connected to people they want to be. Mm-hmm. And the best way to resolve some of that really is to take a good look inside, of course, to meditate on it more.
Wow. Let's see what the Wheel of Fortune has for us.
Good luck, karma, life cycles, destiny, turning points.
Ah.
It is a turning point.
Well, that's interesting. After the Knight of Cups reversed, we have
the Nine of Swords reversed.
Which means that maybe there comes a point here, something happens. I mean, I almost wonder if something happens. Is it this death change here under the Chariot? But something happens where we start to eliminate some of our fears and anxieties. We're realizing that some of it was maybe all up here.
Exactly, and it may be feeling like really that was so yesterday, like all of a sudden the wheel has shifted, and now we really realize that it's not about saying, I wasted my time doing that. It's really about saying, let's get with the plan and move forward.
Mm-hmm. Well, and now we're on justice, which of course is about justice, fairness, truth, cause and effect, and law. Oh.
There may still be some things that need to be considered that we thought we were kind of finished with.
And it might be that we're going nowhere in that regard, that justice doesn't seem like it's being served. People feel that some things are still very inequitable, unfair, and we're kind of stuck. And Mr. O is right. It may be that we just have to tidy up loose ends.
I am reminded of Kuan Yin, in a sense, a person who didn't want to move forward until they had made sure that everyone else had gotten to that same point too. Didn't want to leave anybody behind, and that's what it says, I think.
Okay. The Hanged Man is being visited now, and the Hanged Man is?
It's a pause. It's a surrender. It's letting go. It's new perspectives.
Some of us might be letting go of
relationships. Two of Cups reversed. I think the idea here is that maybe we feel that there are maybe pauses in the relationship, if nothing else, but that maybe it also is time to really look at it. Are you feeling the harmony? Are you feeling the trust?
This could be years of separation of whether temporary or permanent. This could be the time of parting ways with something that is not working for you. Perhaps you're in a business partnership. Perhaps it's a job that you are leaving behind. Something that you are emotionally as well, maybe as physically attached.
It doesn't have to be a person relationship. It could be another kind of relationship.
Okay, we're visiting death here.
And death is endings and change, transformation, transitions. And it is the Ten of Swords reversed.
Well, we can be glad that's ending.
I think so. Ten of Swords reversed often talks about how we are able to extricate ourselves from really deadly forces, to reverse the tide of deep conflict or situations. And maybe this is saying, really, the time has come for us to make those changes that are necessary to avoid such extreme conflict positions.
This is a time to heal your wounds and move on. So in other words, we may be experiencing some strife in our lives, including relationships, possible social unrest, but it is time, there comes a point where we really have to change, and we have to heal our wounds and pick up the pieces and move on. So we're on Temperance now.
The Hangman visiting Temperance, and Temperance is about balance and moderation.
Oh, do I have them out of order?
What?
No, I don't. It is Temperance next. I'm sorry.
How many years have you been reading, honey?
Okay, this will be great for a blooper someday. All right, sorry. Cut. Patience, what is it? Balance, moderation, patience, and purpose. So what do we got? We've got, hey, I love it.
My favorite card once upon a time, the Page of Cups upright.
You will find, I feel, in this year ahead that you will be the most intuitive, the most creative when you have everything in balance. When your life is just, when you have that perfect stillness, give yourself that time to go within. Because if you find your life in real balance, things and messages and intuition will really start working for you.
There's a lot of great examples in art, literature, fiction, and real life. And I think it's always about being in the moment, and when you're in that moment, everything is possible, including that kind of intuition.
And you know what's interesting about that, Mr. O? It kind of ties into the High Priestess here, because, well, I feel, okay, so right here, our fears and anxieties or lack of confidence, is gone, and we're able to tap into higher wisdom. And here, when everything is in balance, you can tap into your higher wisdom.
Rome wasn't built in a day.
The devil.
All right. So the devil talks about our shadow selves, the things that are attachments or obsessions, addictions, restrictions. It can, of course, talk about sexuality or our pursuit of that. And
what are we pursuing there?
The Three of Wands. And it's upright.
It is.
So, whoops. So it could be saying, too, that, as far as these kind of things go that fall under the devil's domain, we may be really feeling that we have been successful and that we want to continue this. And so this could be saying really about our success with dealing with our addictions, but it could also be talking about maybe our need for physical pleasures or relationships.
That is true. That may be definitely a goal for this year. I'm not going to rule that out. I also feel very strongly, like Mr. O says, that this might be the year where you really strategize to get compulsions, addictions, or unhealthy habits under control, so that you can be successful. And the Fool is at the Tower now.
And the Fool sees the King of Cups there.
And the Tower is, of course, about
the sudden changes, upheavals, chaos, revelation, awakenings, basically lessons we need to learn.
The lessons we all need to learn, and especially on a societal level, is to control our emotions, particularly in politics. There is just so much anger, so much overblown emotions that we can't get anything done.
So it is possible maybe too that in this next year, this next cycle, there is somebody who comes along maybe who grabs the attention, and they seem to be really a compassionate person, but maybe they're not. I mean, there's sort of an idea here that we could really look beneath surfaces, and that's a message of the Tower too.
Yeah, I feel here it's definitely emotions could get us into crises that we would rather avoid.
So now we move to the Star, and this flips it and says, well, where is our hope and faith, our purpose, our renewal, our spirituality? What are the things that make us feel there's a greater destiny? And it's the Moon reversed. So the Moon reverse talks about maybe the things that we discover that maybe we didn't realize were out there. It could be saying that these things are possible then, that maybe we will really achieve epiphanies of different sorts and understandings. It could be about the world itself. It could be about the way the world is run. But maybe there's something really awakening that's going to happen.
To me, I'm sensing a real time of some intuition, people opening up. I mean, we got it with the 3 times now, I feel here, The only one where I don't see it as much as maybe with the Hermit, but that's a whole different story. I feel here that with the Star, there is success and there is hope by an achievement by things being revealed to us. And it's mostly, maybe the revelation is how strongly we can trust and tap into our inner selves for the wisdom we need for success.
So I wonder what we're going to find when the Fool
I do have to say one other thing. the moon being revelations with the star here could be indicating that maybe there are some big revelations in our societal world that we are going to hear about
Yes, I
in
feel
this
that.
next year.
So
All
now the
right.
moon moves, or the full moves to the moon. To the moon. And of course, the moon is about illusions and uncertainty, hidden knowledge, fear, anxiety. Boy, it sounds like we just talked about the moon. Oh, we
Yeah,
did.
we did.
And we have the reversed Four of Pentacles.
So, I think that maybe this is a very positive sign here. I think what's happening here is it's going to be revealed to us that we have to let go of some of our, some of the things we're being very stubborn about, whether it's attitudes, whether it's an inability to change, whether it's our material wealth, Some people have to learn to let go.
Exactly. I kind of drifted off there a little bit, so forgive me. But I think this is saying, too, that maybe to some degree, what we learn about ourselves through intuition or those things that are maybe a little bit more mysterious to us are also things that maybe we can share, or that maybe somehow from that societal level, the ideas about what is hidden and not necessarily understood may actually become more common to the point where people will be open enough to talk and share about them. We're gonna hear about UFOs.
The aliens are coming.
And now the Fool has moved to the sun. Oh dear. The sun brings up everything, right? It warms it up, but this might warm it up on its own. It's the devil. Oh.
Well, basically this might just mean there is success in making peace with our shadow side, and I feel it here, the strategies here, that maybe the devil is saying that, in the sun, that there will be success in overcoming the things that are holding us back. But also, it could be there's going to be some successful encounters going on.
Well, the sun illuminates. It also brings things to knowledge, not in the way that the moon does. Maybe it's more about education to some degree, or knowledge. And so this could be saying that really we begin to understand more about not only our compulsive behaviors, that are the things that inhibit us or restrict us, but also where it applies in our other relationships and with the world too.
And finally, Judgment. No, that's not finally. We have one more card. Yes. But Judgment is about, of course, judgment, rebirth, inner calling, and absolution. Oh my gosh, we have to make peace with our past.
Yeah,
or, we have to really look back at the past and the good things from our past, and and realize that we need to reawaken some of that. Perhaps some of the ways we all related better to one another. We were more civil. We were more polite. We have to get back to some of that.
Well, ever since I was a young person in the 70s, there was always this idea that there was nostalgia, happy days, or later on it was the 70s show in the 90s, and now it's that. So we're always looking back at the past as a barometer of our happiness, but this card is telling us to look at it from a more spiritual dimension, to understand what spiritually made us happy, not about milkshakes and drive-in theaters or whatever it was, mood rings, whatever. I'm going through the decades, but really about what really uplifts us and how we do that for the rest of the world.
Right. Whether this is for yourself or this is a world prediction, that's what I see, that, we need to rekindle something from our past. Is there a latent skill or talent that you've let go to the wayside? Maybe it's time to bring some of that back. Maybe some of the things we used to do in society will work again. We don't know, but it's worth considering.
So finally, the Fool travels to the world. Completion, integration, accomplishment, and travel.
And it never ends.
The Chariot.
That's so great to have that at the end, because what it's basically saying is we're motivated and driven to complete our tasks and goals this year, to achieve success, some level of success, some level of completion, but also with the Chariot being there, it's saying this journey is never ending. We will keep moving forward into 2024.
And I think that the world also compels us to understand that it's not exactly black and white like the two twin forces there. It's everything in between and beyond that. And we have to really pretty much work with all of that. We have to understand all the drives of all the people, what motivates them, what makes them want to get up and do good, or how can we get everybody on that page.
So this is our Journey of the Fool reading. I hope you were able to lay out your cards and do your own reading. If you have any questions about cards that you've pulled in specific positions, do let us know. We'll be happy to talk it out with you, either in the chat after the ritual or, later on. So, and also you can always bring the video up again if you want to perform this ritual, this reading after the fact.
All right, so we are now going to return to close the ceremony.
The circle.
All right.
We now release the divine source and the gods, goddesses we chose to be with us on this journey. We thank you for being our muse. We thank you for guiding and protecting us. Go if you will, stay if you must. We bid you farewell. Blessed be.
All hail, watchtowers of the north, west, south, and east. We say farewell and thank you. You are now released. Feel free to stay if you will, but go if you must. We will surely meet again, and on this you can trust.
So mote it be. So now we are going to release the circle we had from hand to hand as well. This is what we're going to do. You can recite from hand to hand, the circle is open, but never broken. As we stand and do this here, we will imagine that we are all holding hands, and then one by one, we are releasing the person's hands and opening the circle. From hand to hand, the circle is open, but never broken.
From hand to hand, the circle is open, but never broken. From hand to hand,
the circle is open, but never broken. From hand to hand, the circle is open, but never broken. From hand to hand, the circle is open, but never broken. From hand to hand, the circle is open, but never broken. From hand to hand, the circle is open. As these words now are spoken, may this bond be our token. Merry we meet, merry we part, and may magic always live in our hearts. So mote it be.
So mote it be.
The circle is open, but never broken.
Merry meet, merry part,
and merry meet again! Woohoo!
Blessed be, everyone.
Blessed be, blessed Yule. If you have any questions at all about your reading, don't forget to contact us. You can contact us at TFT tarotfortoday@gmail.com. We welcome feedback on this working and the reading that went along with it. And we thank you once again for making this Yule very special for us.
Thank you so much.
Blessed be.
Blessed be.